I've been planning a part 2 to the original Unrated Demons video for a little bit now, so here it is. Admittedly, this is partly because I knew I forgot some previous levels that I'd beaten, even before making the first video, and I can also take another opportunity to review more on these levels, since I haven't previously uploaded many of these. There's not much more of an intro I can give if you've watched the first video, you should already know how my rankings work. I will however say I'm going to structure this video a little bit differently. I'm going to start with the levels that I had previously beaten and forgot to showcase, which I have 3 of. Then I'm going to go to all the main levels I have to cover, and then I'm going to finish off with a special trilogy of levels which I want to show off. So let's just get started, I suppose. Also, I apologize if you can hear my fan, it's very hot. Well, I'm honestly quite disappointed in myself for forgetting I beat this. I beat Chiptune Brawl near the very beginning of 2025, as it was a level hosted by Statius, someone who I've been friends with for a number of years, though we haven't talked all that much recently. I don't remember fully how I came across this, but I remember beating it in one session, and overall the level's pretty fun, although it's very short, and also a lot of difficulties weighted towards the ending. For example, the gameplay in the first 70% or so ranges from like easy to medium demon, but Chris's part right at the end is closer to insane demon. It also doesn't help that a lot of the transitions in that part in particular are not very clear. It caused me a lot of deaths. Beyond that, and how short this was, I had a decent time with this level. Now I'm going to review both of these at the same time since they're by the same creator. I imagine no one has even fought these levels in like 6 years, since from what I saw they really only gained notoriety from old partition videos. I beat these both in 2024 I believe, I might be wrong about that. Regardless, I want to make one thing big clear, these levels are very defined by their choke points. Actually no. One single choke point each. I'm not even joking, both of these levels have one specific choke point in them that really put a dent in my experience. In Core, it was a black orb at 87 where you have to click multiple times, and in Checky it's the jump at 38 which moves towards you. Obviously, I feel like not really much can be expected quality-wise from these gimmick layouts, especially with how old they are. But I just find it very interesting how these two levels are defined by just these single choke points. Honestly, the Checky one might just be a skill issue on my end, but of all the clicks like that in the level, it's easily the one I died to the most and the one I struggle with the most. The one in Core is just plain stupid though. There's no pattern to it whatsoever, so you just need to pick some random click pattern and stick to it. Beyond these choke points, these levels are fine, although I must ask, why was the official song for Base After Base the song of choice to replace here? Seems like a really stupid decision.
Check it. Check it. Oh, I think I got the fever. I'm heated. Pumping up the meter. Roll me a ringleader, bad party bleeder. Make this with a storm. Lead after leader. Hey, can you dig it? I come alive, come and give me what you got. Back up, come stick up, pump your fist up. You check the shadow, no buck shots, a buzz, slip up. Yeah. Gonna make it feel alright. Pump it up all night. Body rock, show me what you got. Let Barbara. Hey, slip up. Yeah. Gonna make it feel alright. Pump it up all night. Body rock, show me what you got. Let Barbara. check it, check it, check it out, check it, check it out, check it, check it, check it out, check it, check it out, check it, check it, check it out, check it, check it out, check it, check it, check it out, check it.
Okay, now it's time for the more recent levels. I've been meaning to review this level for a while. I beat this in March of this year, and again, it's not actually all that difficult, so I beat it in like one session one morning. I honestly wish Nawad made more serious projects, because this was a more experimental level from her that was built in about a week. This level is super raw and interesting, and I think it's really interesting with its usage of song and the way it conveys it. Unfortunately, this level feels rather unfinished. It's why I wish Nawad would do more. Additionally, the gameplay does flow well, but it doesn't work the best. I specifically had issues with a spider click at 73 because sometimes I just wouldn't line up with the structure properly and I would die. This level is very cool though, nonetheless. Okay, what am I even supposed to say about this? This is just another one of those cases of a level that I randomly remembered existed and knocked out in one session, and this one I really don't know what to say about. It plays about as well as it looks, maybe even a bit better, but overall it's just kind of unremarkable. It's just one of those old joke levels that I saw multiple years ago and thought would be funny to beat out at some point, and that point is here now, I suppose. I apologize if a lot of this video winds up like this. I beat most of these levels really fast.
Complaciendo para todos los bailadores con esta rola que dice 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now this is a lot cooler of a level. I know the level's called Netherus now, but I want to honor the old name since it went by Murder Metal for many years. I seriously wish this level had so much more recognition. This is actually a phenomenal level. I love the gameplay, the pacing, the song, the intensity, the decoration. Most things in this level come together perfectly, and it's actually really accessible since it's not that difficult. I personally believe it's about borderline insane extreme demon. I literally almost fluked this from the 60s, but I choked to 96 and I didn't care at all because the level's just that fun and I just wanted to keep playing it. If you're looking for an easier Zalnox level to do, I'd easily recommend this over just about anything else. It's just such a shame that it isn't rated, since it loses out on so much of that recognition that it really deserves. Yet again, another level I was reminded of multiple years after it was released, and this is a choice one. This level's literally 36 seconds long and is almost fully duels throughout its runtime, and even though it has text in it saying gameplay is better than Deco, during my experience I found the level to be really unenjoyable. This level has a lot of choke points. For example, the 21% UFO click, which I had to double click to do more consistently, the 57% straight fly, which, by the way, why does this level use 2.2 ship physics? This was released over 6 years ago. It's such a random update. There's also the icon jump at 60, which is needlessly hard for some reason, and finally 68, which can get consistent, but I died here for so much for no reason. Also, I got pummeled by this level's ending for some reason, with 3 deaths to 88, even though it's really easy. This level isn't the worst thing ever, but it certainly doesn't live up to its own words, and I suffered through it as a result. Right, so how am I meant to judge this? I mean, look at it. The only reason why I ever beat this is because I have fond memories of it existing as a joke level many years ago, and I remember I would just lose my shit every time I looked at Maxie's ridiculous thumbnail. In fact, I'm gonna be honest with you, I very heavily even hesitated making my own completion this public because of how just questionable it is. I mean, every part flashes the background colors, simulates an earthquake of magnitude 10, or does both at the same time. To add to that, this level has very interesting imagery, including but not limited to SWAT and minions wanting their bananas sucked. I mean, if you want my experience, it was minions. It really wasn't that horrible, but it was also just minions. I mean, if you want a genuine review, 30% the second half is completely auto for some reason, and the last thing in the level is a ship, which happens to be the hardest part of the level as well. Like, you know what, fuck this, I give up. If you want the experience of minions, play it yourself, on to the next level. Okay, onto a real level now. I still can't get that fucking minions cover out of my head. Anyway, Dimwit. At this point, I've basically beaten a level set in the limitations of every old update. Submachine for 1.0, Foursquare for 1.3, Dimwit for 1.4, and Force Memory for 1.6. If only I finished my 1.5 level, I could have filled a loose end. This, like Conscience, is another Renmine level, and this won't be the last you see of him here. Anyway, this level basically attempts 1.4 core, and it's actually rather interesting in terms of its execution. It's basically a full-on memory level, and actually takes a good amount of work to figure out. It's actually surprisingly hard as well, featuring a lot of hard timings. Now, I think this level's solid, except for one small little issue: the click at 80%. This one singular timing is the single hardest click in the entire level by a mile. It's not close at all. Almost everything else in this level gets consistent, or at least had a semblance of consistency. 80% did not. I don't know how I keep finding issues with one particular click in all these levels, but like, why? Beyond that little issue, this level actually is very good, and I wish I had more victors since everyone keeps running away from it. Oh, for fuck's sake, I forgot about this one. This level is basically just the Janus Miracle, but slightly easier and not spammed by useless updates. It even has a similarly stupid name. Also, apparently this level was meant to promote a page on a Korean social media website. Anyway, this level really isn't all that interesting besides the 50 ship, which is, as you probably expect, stupidly hard. The rest of the level was pretty unremarkable though. Now, onto the aforementioned trilogy: Energy Core, Thermal Core, and Nuclear Core, all by Renmine. Now, I won't be covering all of these at the same time since that'd be really difficult, so I'm going to go one by one instead, starting with Energy Core. Now, I actually believe this is Ren's first serious finished level, and for that, this level's really solid. Obviously, it isn't as developed as the other two, and in my opinion, some parts aren't even really core. But I still think this level's cool and has some good ways of conveying certain ideas. Unfortunately, I can't say all that much about this one compared to the other two solely because there isn't that much to talk about gameplay or deco-wise. I think it's a cool level though. There is much more to talk about here though. Thermal Core is a pretty drastic jump up in quality from Energy Core, and this is easily one of the best core levels I've ever seen full stop. I even think some of the theming and ideas in this level are done better than in Nuclear Core, which isn't a knock on that level, but just a testament to how well this level does it. One of my best examples for this is the liquid energy part, as Ren calls it. Or you could just call it the Gatorade part, whatever works. Anyway, this part being basically the climax of the level is a really good touch, and it also breaks up the more similar parts, keeping the level quite unique throughout its runtime. My only big criticism with the level is that the pre-drop was just very annoying to play on the first day. I'm not even entirely sure why, but after coming back to it the next day, it went down so much easier, and I knocked out the level super fast, despite also somehow dying at 97. And finally, we have landed on our last level today, Nuclear Core. Now, this level is actually really recent, being released about a week ago as I record this, and I actually witnessed much of this level's creation in real time, so I knew I was definitely going to beat it at some point. Now, I think this is easily up there as some of Ren's best gameplay. Despite also being his hardest level and being made in 1.8 limitations, it flows super well and was very satisfying to pull off, especially with the duels, even if I had some slight issues with him getting consistent. Additionally, for how quickly this level got finished, the decoration is very cool, and I like a lot of the references that were added as well. There are some things I personally don't like though, such as the gravity portal transition at 34, the transition into the swing copter at 50, the random spammy sections in the second half of the 60 UFO, and the UFO gap at 72. There's also the ship gap at 93, which is stupid hard, but that's for a coin, so it doesn't matter as much. Most of these things I mentioned aren't exactly that bad, but are inconsistent enough to be notable choke points, and were all fairly frustrating for me to deal with at certain points in time. All in all though, this is still a good level, and overall a very solid trilogy, so good job, Renmine. Well, that's everything I wanted to cover. These two videos were quite fun to make, but don't expect another one for a while. The levels in here are niche enough as is. Also, yeah, if you haven't, you should go watch the first one. It covers a lot more of the significant unrated levels I've beaten, I think. That's all from me for this one, though.